This is how to set date stamps on a column when you paste in bulk. So this is an extension of the previous date stamp on edit we've worked with. The original, it just puts the date in completed when that column is edited. Next, we can have multiple columns in and multiple columns out. And finally, we had multiple columns in and the same column out. Okay. This time, what I want to be able to do on this bulk edit tab is not only drop in here's value and get a date stamp here, but I want to be able to paste in some range of values and have date stamps appear here for all of them. So let's delete all these values and see how we do that. So from extensions app script, and here is going to have all the previous scripts we've run. So I'm just going to comment out to have them not run from the onEdit. And then I'm going to add a new function. Let's call it bulkEdit. And of course, we're going to pass it E. That can be up here. Then for the function itself, bulkEdit. And as normal, const source equals e.source.getActiveSheet, and const r equals e.range. If I were actually running something like this where I had multiple functions running from onEdit, I would actually put these two constants up here and then pass them as parameters to the functions. But that's not really what we're doing. We're just using the same sheet and commenting out the ones we're not using. So I'm going to say if source, that's wrong, if source.getName is not equal to, what did we call that? bulkEdit. And do I need to say anything else? Yes. Not e.value and e.oldValue is not equal to null. Oops, 2 ampersands there. And what that's going to do is whenever we delete a single value on the sheet, it's not going to put a date stamp. Now, there is a severe limitation here. If we delete multiple values at once, it will put the date stamp. So we do have to be careful how we're using this, but for that use case of pasting multiple values, it works just fine. So if any of those are true, then return. And then the code itself is actually really, really simple. All we need to do is r.offset, and we're going to offset 0 rows and 1 column. And in that offsetted range, set value, new date. That's it. Okay? Because it's going to move 1 column over for the entire range, because we're offsetting from the range. We're not getting a specific cell value, and setting the value as a new date, which means that it's going to have the same date timestamp for all of them. We aren't going to have issues of like pasting 50 things and having the last one be a couple milliseconds later. It's all going to have the same date. So let's save it. And over here, grab some values. First, let's just test it on 1. Test. Perfect. Now, let's paste everything. Excellent. And if we look here, here's the one that I put in manually. So the time is 14:34:14. These ones all are 14:34:19. Then if I do it again, 14:34:37, but they're all the same. Okay. Now I want to show you what I was talking about with the one issue of deleting. If I delete, well, let's say this one, then nothing comes here because of this, where we're making sure that if there's no value and that the old value wasn't null, right? So not only did we not put anything, but there wasn't anything there to begin with. It's not going to go. It returns, nothing happens. But if I delete 2, then it does. And that's because if we look up the documentation on event objects, on edit, it says for old value, cell value prior to the edit, if any, only available if the edited range is a single cell. And same for value. New cell value after edit, only available if the edited range is a single cell. So because when you delete multiple values, the range is 2 cells, not a single cell, neither the old value nor the value parameters actually, or objects actually exist here. So there's no way for us to exclude them from firing. Okay. Now, if we wanted to, you could do something off of the R, off of the actual range, and loop through and check all the values. So theoretically you could, but based strictly off of the objects we have been given in the app script trigger, there's no way to get all of those values. There's no way to check if that is a filled range or if that was a deletion. So that is the one thing to be aware of. If you delete multiple values, they will appear. If you don't, it'll be fine. Just delete them one at a time and it'll work. Alternatively, delete all those. And I want to delete all these. Whee! It went too fast and thought it was a multiple. All right. Alternatively, we could change this. So if the direction of pasting is here rather than here, then all we need to do is change the offset from 0, 1, which says same row, next column, and change that to next row, same column. So let's try that. Let's get these. There we go. And it puts the date timestamp underneath where all the pasted values go. So that's all that needs to change, is same row, next column, or next row, same column. Just using that offset allows us to do that.